Welcome everyone back to another episode of Battlefield 4 Debriefing. Now, today is all about the Engineer class, which is a vital role in the AA side of Battlefield. Now, before I go into any details about the Engineer class whatsoever, I do want to mention that the Assault class that I mentioned a few days ago, I forgot to say one vital thing that's going to be taking place in the Assault class. Now, you'll be able to use DMR rifles, which are designated marksman rifles, otherwise sniper rifles, on the Assault class. These will be the M39 semi-automatic type of rifles. The recon will stay the same. There's nothing going to change about that. You'll just be able to use these long-range scoped weapons on the Assault class. Now, I mention that here because there's no mention of these DMR rifles coming to the Support and Engineer class. It would be very interesting if they do. I don't see why they wouldn't, unless it's a special thing for the Assault class, because I can't see any reason why the Assault class would need any more improvements. They got the assault rifles, the med pack, all that great stuff to keep you going. So maybe improve it onto the Engineer and Support, maybe. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But today, of course, is the Engineer class. Let's start with the weapons. Now, the weapons available for the Engineer class, of course, is the assault rifle carbine type weapons, M4A1, AK-74U, G36C, those type of weapons that would be assault rifle worthy. Now, they got the long range, the fire rate, the recoil, the power and the accuracy to make it look like these would be assault rifles. But they got the compactness of carbines, so you got the close range hip fire accuracy that you would need from an SMG. They're very effective and very useful on the assault Engineer class, where you need to get up close and personal, repairing, destroying and taking out enemy infantry at close range. But of course, nothing changes with that side of the Engineer class. The weapons will stay the same. The assault rifle / carbine type of weapons, which I'm very happy about. Now, let's move on to the repairing and destroying side of the Engineer class. The repairing is done solely by the repair tool. A lot of work for such a small tool, but it's very effective. Now, it can repair friendly vehicles and destroy enemy vehicles. Those pesky tanks will be out of your way within a matter of seconds. Now, the destroying is done more or less by the Stingers and the RPGs. First of all, the Stingers, they're making an unworthy return into Battlefield 4, which I'm not entirely happy about. I don't really like or use the Stingers in Battlefield 3. I think they're very annoying. They got a range which I think is completely ridiculous, and they can one-hit disable your vehicle. I don't mind the one-hit disable, that's perfectly fine. It's just the range which was suited to Armoured Kill. They buffed it for Armoured Kill, and then it wasn't suited for the normal maps, such as Operation Firestorm, Caspian Border, those type of open maps, which seem very small compared to Armoured Kill, but either way, I don't think they work properly, and hopefully in Battlefield 4, if they do decide to bring them back at all, they should be improved in some way or another. Now, the Javelins, they're another thing in Battlefield 4 which I've noticed. You're now getting 2 Javelins. First of all, the normal one, which lock onto enemy tanks, vehicles, jeeps, whatever it might be, ground vehicles. You lock on, you fire, you disable or destroy. Now, they've got another Javelin that I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I presume it plays out more or less the same to the previous Javelin which I just spoke about, but it would be rather interesting if the new Javelin required a designated lock-on by a SOFLAM or a laser painter to fire onto air vehicles, helicopters, jets, all that good stuff. Now, that would add a new level of complexity to the Engineer class, which I kind of like. Now, the last thing is RPGs. The RPG-7 for the Russian side and the SMOR for the US side. They're more or less identical. You couldn't pick any differences if you wanted to. The only thing I would say that they could change for Battlefield 4 with the RPGs is the drop-off. Now, I think in Battlefield 3 the drop-off is a little bit too soon. I think RPGs would fire and fly a little bit further before they started to descend. I think that would improve it considerably and hopefully make the RPGs a little bit more effective, because at the moment they are very effective in Battlefield 3. It just make it more realistic in how they would play out, because the rocket would fly a little bit further than I think it does in Battlefield 3. Now, the last thing about RPGs is the Chinese faction, of course, that's making an appearance in Battlefield 4. So would they be getting a Chinese RPG? I don't know anything about Chinese RPGs, so I won't go into it, but it'd be quite interesting to see the Chinese faction have their own separate set of tools, gadgets, RPGs, all that good stuff. But either way, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the video entirely. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time.